This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Ready? Focus. Lock in. Buckle down. From the Great Lakes to all corners of the globe, let your passions shine with purpose in your zone.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of our viewers and listeners. Welcome to another broadcast of In Your Zone, brought to you by INCRadio Great Lakes. I am your host, as always, for this afternoon, for Gabriel Romero from the local congregation of Bloomingdale, Illinois, in the District of Great Lakes. We're always glad to have you joining us every week, wherein we get to share the passions, hobbies, and interests of our brethren here in the District of Great Lakes. And please don't forget that you can always share your thoughts, your comments, and shout out anyone you'd like in our YouTube live chat. Please fill that with all of your greetings and your feedback on today's show. And I believe everyone here in our YouTube live chat, I already see the hype building with their excitement on today's topic. And we will introduce our guest for you for today's broadcast shortly. So please, in the meantime, fill this YouTube live chat with all of your wonderful thoughts about our topic for today. As we begin our discussion, we always remind each and every one of you to focus. All right. So for today, we have joining us from the district, our brother from the local congregation of Lake County, Illinois. I'll have him introduce himself. So you can go ahead and unmute and say hi to everyone watching.
Hello. My name is Evan Sarmiento, and I am from the locale of Lake County. And I would like to shout out my family for letting me do this. And yeah.
We're glad to have you on, Evan. For today's topic, you can see for everyone watching in our overlay there down below me, we're talking about volleyball today. And many of our brethren here in the district, they're avid volleyball players. But we're going to hear your side on how you got interested in volleyball and how you're developing your skills up to this day. And it's a fairly popular sport among the brethren here in the District of Great Lakes. So it's awesome to see another avid fan of the sport. So let's get into that part. For you, Evan, how did you first get introduced, or when did you take volleyball a bit more seriously than just being like a casual fan?
I first started volleyball in sixth grade, and I started to get more serious with this sport by watching like the Olympics, and I also wanted to like do another sport with other friends, and yeah, I was mostly because of the Olympics, and my friends were encouraging me to do a sport that we have never did before. So yeah,
Okay, what other sports do you play, if you don't mind me asking?
I play baseball and volleyball and basketball.
Ah, nice. Very naturally athletic, it seems like. We actually do have a similar background, I guess, with volleyball. Like I too got way more interested in volleyball when the Olympics came around. Um, Indoor and beach volleyball both, I think, are very interesting. Like the fast pace of it, and how like the players are able to like pull off like plays that you think are impossible. For me, at least, that's like what appealed to me the most. Just how everyone's so athletic and able to work together. I like that. But for you though, Evan, what is your position on your volleyball team?
I play as a setter and a libero.
Oh, okay. So you are able to. I guess that makes sense. Though you do have. Which one do you primarily play though?
I primarily play as a setter,
Okay,
but
you're mainly a setter, but you've done libero in the past. Is this part of like a school team that you play for, or because there are like clubs and like leagues out there? What kinds of teams do you play for?
I play for my school and for a club.
Ah, okay. Is this like based off of like I'm pretty sure like as many high school sports or even like youth sports, they're divided into age group. Is that how your like volleyball league is grouped together, like the players on your team?
Yeah, it's only 14U,
Okay.
and
What are you playing in, or is this some is the league has the league started yet? I don't remember what exactly like the volleyball season is throughout the year.
my school season started already, but
Mhm.
the club hasn't started. It starts like at the end of March.
Okay. How long does that go for?
I think it goes until um think think till end of April.
Okay. So March to April. What for those who don't know, what does like a traveling like league volleyball club, what does that look like? What does like the schedule look like? If you know already. I know it hasn't.
Um, it's mostly a lot of practicing that like it's constant practice
Hmm.
for like every day. And well, you have to have uh time management because you're traveling to different states as a travel team. And yeah.
Okay. So I think we talked to we had some brothers some guests a couple of weeks back, and for their soccer teams, yeah, it was a similar situation wherein they got to like travel to different cities, and I think they traveled to different states as well to play in like regional tournaments. So volleyball is pretty much the same, and I'd say like soccer, there is a lot of team involvement, right? It's not a individual sport per se. So like as you, I think you mentioned this at the beginning too. Like for volleyball, it wasn't like something you played when you were like young, right? Like it was kind of new when you started in sixth grade. So how did you when you made the team, like how did you like develop your skills aside from practice, right? Because that's kind of a given, like you attend your your team practices, right? But like on your own, did you do like any additional practice, and like what did that look like?
Um, out of like school and stuff,
Hmm.
did I watched videos
Okay.
to improve my skills, and that's basically it. I just watched the videos to help me improve.
Okay. That's interesting. Like, I mean, of course, you have your friends to play volleyball with, right? But it's interesting. Like, there are a lot of like online tutorials, I guess, for lack of a better word, that like give you like the details of how to like improve your skills. Like for you specifically as a setter, like how has playing as a setter, and we'll dive into this a little bit later more in our broadcast too, but like what has being a setter like taught you about like yourself, or like teamwork in general, like as I mentioned, volleyball is a team sport. Like, what have you learned about yourself while being like a setter for your volleyball team?
I learned that being a setter is a pretty hard position because you have to have a lot of speed and agility to uh get to the ball, and you have to have good hands. If you like, you have to have the right way of setting the ball. So there's like different rules.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't carry it, or uh like touching the net and stuff. But that's basically it.
Okay. Have you like been able to work on like the communication skills? Like for me at least, in my view, like the setter kind of controls the offense in a way, right? Like if you're playing, I might throw in some terms that maybe like not a lot of people would know, but like if you're utilizing like the three hits, right, for that your team is allowed to have before you pass over, the setter usually is in control of that second hit or pass, right, to define, I guess, where that third hit would go, right? So you do have, I guess it sounds stressful to me just talking about it already, but like a lot of pressure. But um, has that helped you grow outside of volleyball too, like being able to, you know, take the pressure that you feel in volleyball and like applying it to other situations? How has like volleyball helped you outside of the sport?
Um, it helped me by like communicating more because I used to be kind of quiet,
Mm,
but now as you learn your team more, you get to talk to them, and also like staying mentally in the game because sometimes you get frustrated and stuff, and once you're like kind of mad or angry, you kind of get to a point where you can't really think straight,
mm.
and yeah.
I like thought back on like just the experiences I had with volleyball because sometimes, right, if you like kind of mess up a play, like for me, like I would get frustrated. I'm gonna try to control myself better in that regard. Like, but like simple mistakes that could be easy to fix with like continuous practice. There are some moments like that wherein you kind of do feel down on yourself, like making a mistake like that, but how have you been able to like overcome like those mistakes that you make? Were you able to like do it on your own, or like was it through your team or like your coach? How have you been able to like change your mindset um during a volleyball game to become like more positive?
Well, for my team, after we either make a point or someone makes a mistake and we lose a point, we always come together and start encouraging each other so that no one feels down about themselves. And because volleyball is like a team sport,
Yes.
and yeah.
Okay. So then speaking of like that encouragement and like the team aspect of volleyball, like right as I mentioned, I think a little bit earlier or even before our broadcast started, we were talking about how, inside the church we have our like unity games often, and volleyball is a sport that's very popular. Especially here in our district we play it a lot. And so it is a lot of communication and teamwork, and there may be some who might have been in your position who like haven't played like seriously. They're not like serious like athletes when it comes to like volleyball or like basketball or other sports that we play. So what like piece of advice would you have for someone who might be scared to try out volleyball, or like maybe they're, I think I saw in our live chat maybe a little earlier that like they're afraid of like getting spiked by the ball. What would you say to encourage those who want to try?
Um, so usually there's someone else that would like to do it with you, like a friend.
Hmm.
And with me, if I would say like you should do it for fun and like because we're like trying to find the words.
Like, is it part of like the teamwork aspect of it, or the it doesn't matter like what skill level you're having? Like, you're all encouraging other and helping each other improve. Is that what you're trying to
I'm
say?
trying to, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay. Like, it doesn't matter if we're professionals or amateurs, or like even trying it out for the first time, because that can happen. But we're all there to support each other, encourage each other. Even like what you mentioned, right? When things may not go as ideally as we want, like in terms of scoring points. We're still there to, encourage each other and, support each other for doing our best. And so, although it is like the team sport, as we've reiterated many times, like there are the specific roles or positions, right, in a volleyball team. And so, we'll be going through those quickly. In the time that we have, just a quick recap of the roles of a volleyball team with Evan, wherein we have our next segment, again, the lock in segment. All right, so
Uh,
let's actually start. I think we could start with the position you're most familiar with. I want to go ahead and start with the setter and what they do for a team.
so a setter is someone that receives a pass from a middle back and usually sets the ball to an attacker, which is a hitter or a blocker. Uh, yeah, that's basically it.
What would make someone a good setter, do you think?
Someone that's fast and able to like jump around and stuff.
So I guess okay, so someone who's agile, I guess, able to jump around, like like you said. And I think, speaking of jumping, the hitters are ones that I think would be ideal. If they're good at jumping, they'd probably be a good hitter. If I'm not mistaken, there are like two types of hitters, if I'm correct, or correct me if I'm
Yes.
wrong. But what are those positions?
An outside hitter is like usually the main hitter,
Hmm.
and there's also an opposite hitter, which is like either a blocker and basically another attacker from the back row, not the back. Usually we usually like back set it, but
Okay, so there can be multiple hitters on a team. And what would make someone a good hitter?
so like you said, someone needs to be able to jump. Uh, you usually want to be a tall person because if you're like, let's say like a person on the other team's like really tall and they're taller than you,
Hmm.
there's a higher chance you're gonna get blocked by them.
Yeah. That's pretty
Uh,
much everyone for me.
yeah,
Everyone's taller than me, so I have a feeling I'll be black. So I probably might not be a good hitter, but I guess, right, if your um timing is right, you'll be able to um avoid, I think, the next position that we're going to talk about, the blockers, those mainly on the defense, right? So aside from, I guess, just being generically defense, what else would a middle blocker or any blocker, what would they do?
they mainly like play as a defensive player, but they also play as an attacker because they're also tall and they should be able to spike it. And yeah.
Okay, I see. It sounds like there's a lot of I mean, I don't know if you know off the top of your head, but how tall is a standard size like volleyball net?
I think 7. I forgot, like 7 something.
Over 7 feet.
For yeah.
Yeah, I already know like when I try to like reach out, like I struggle like reaching the top of it. I still to this day, a bit of a struggle. But I think at least for me, the default position I feel most comfortable in. And what you mentioned earlier in our broadcast, your alternate role is the libero. So could you inform everyone what the libero does?
Uh, a libero is usually someone that plays in the back, usually reserving serves, and whenever they spike, they're usually the one that's diving everywhere to receive it.
Ooh, okay. Sounds like so. On the topic of having to dive everywhere, quickly, what kind of I guess equipment, or yeah, what kind of equipment would a volleyball player use?
There's elbow pads and knee pads. Those are usually the main ones for libero for any like position.
Okay, so it sounds like yeah, you'd kind of be like scraping your knees or your elbows a lot, especially if you're diving. How about the type of footwear that you use? Do you think that's also like important for a volleyball player?
Yeah, there's like different shoes for volleyball,
Mm.
but me, I usually use basketball shoes.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, they're both. I think it's the same type of court anyway, right? Like the a basketball court and a volleyball court is the same. I guess depending where, but like they can be played on the same hard court, like wooden court. Is that is that right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
usually play on a basketball court.
Okay. I think that makes sense. Like in high school, I remember, yeah, that we would play like during gym class, like we would play on the same court. So that makes sense. So okay, so again, for everyone watching, you don't need to really invest in new volleyball shoes if you have basketball shoes, I guess already. But of course, you got to be careful of the condition of your shoes, of your um, knee pads, elbow pads, things like that. So um, trying to think, do we have any other positions? I guess the last one maybe are ones who maybe not who don't play as often, and I'm talking about like the specialists. So like ones who are exclusively like defensive specialists or serving specialists. Um, and correct me if I'm wrong, Evan. Those are just players who kind of rotate in for the one specific time or instance that they're needed, like a serving specialist, right? Like they'll play to serve, and then when it's not their turn, they'll be like rotated out. Is that how that works?
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
Okay, maybe I'll just stick to that one, so so I don't have to play as much. But for you, Evan, since we've talked about, I think we've covered every position there is in volleyball. For you overall, like, what is your favorite part about playing volleyball?
My favorite part about playing volleyball is being with my friends and playing the sport in general.
Thanks. So next time we have our Unity games, I'm gonna expect to see you, diving everywhere, trying to you get the ball when it's your turn, or other words, like encouraging your teammates, right, to play well. So I'm looking forward. I think for those who are in our YouTube live chat, like in the past, I believe our locales have played against each other, and so it is intimidating to play against, especially someone who's taller than you. I'm pretty sure Evan, you're taller than me. Like I said, everyone is. So, yeah, I mean, I look forward to the next time that we have Unity games. That's not only will I see you on the court, but everyone else in our YouTube live chat who's in our district to participate in these sports too. I'm gonna look back and just read a couple of comments in our YouTube live chat. Just greetings I see from EJ Short watching from Milwaukee. Leslie Esguerra from Naperville. Your parents are in the chat as well, encouraging everyone and thanking everyone for watching. From Detroit, Antonio Garcia, thank you for watching. Um, Dexter Kabusora, I see you there. Okay, we've got some thanks. Thank you, Brother Evan, for sharing your knowledge to the game. That is from Brother Alberto there in Milwaukee. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll for a little bit more just in case I miss any comments. But again, for everyone, oh, there, I see one from your dad, Evan. You motivate your teammates. Keep up the good work. So appreciated that you've been able to share your thoughts with us, Evan, on today's broadcast. Is there anyone else that you would like to, say hi to before we wrap up our show?
Um, just my family in general, and just my locale.
Awesome. Yeah. Shout out to Lake County. Um your aunt also, Sister Melissa also says, love from Lake County, your Uncle Jason and your cousins they're all watching too. So a lot of family support for you. And a lot of support in our YouTube live chat. Thank you all for tuning in to our broadcast this afternoon. And I'm sure you're all inspired to participate in a new sport. So although it may be intimidating, remember that you have lots of people there to support you along the way, just like we have all of this support from you, our viewers, for tuning into our broadcast today. We would like to give a special shout out later in this month for the Columbus, Ohio locale. They'll be celebrating their local anniversary, I believe, on the 20th of this month. So congratulations there to the local congregation of Columbus. We'd like to give our special thanks and shout outs as well to our executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our deputy executive minister, Brother Angelo Aranio V. Manalo. Again, we thank you both so much for allowing us to have this platform to share our passions, hobbies, and interests, and especially how showcase our brethren here in the District of Great Lakes. We would also like to thank in the district our district ministers, Brother Elmer Sarmiento, our district minister, and Brother Art Agag, our assistant district minister. I believe they were in our YouTube live chat today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'd also like to thank our CFO advisor, Brother Cameron Waterman, as well as our multimedia advisor, Brother CJ Manalansan. And for INC Radio, we'd like to thank the main studio and our station manager, Brother Wali Taray, our overseeing minister, Brother Edwin Acebuque, as well as our executive producer, Brother Manly Andaya. Thank you all so much for supporting our program. And thank you once again. We cannot thank you enough, our viewers, for tuning in to our broadcast. Just a reminder that even though it is daylight savings time this weekend, our show will remain at the same time. So you can always tune in at 4 o'clock Central Time every Saturday. If you're in the Eastern Time Zone, that's 5 o'clock every Saturday. And I believe in the Philippines, that time may change. I think that will go earlier to 5 a.m. in the Philippines. Find out next week to be sure. My time zone conversion is not at 100% right now. But in the meantime, please continue to share this broadcast to everyone who'd like to learn a little bit more about volleyball and who'd like to learn more about our brethren here in general in the District of Great Lakes. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. And our last reminder, as we always remind you every week, is that in your zone is where you and your passions shine the brightest. Tune in next week, everyone, 4 o'clock Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much. We will see you next time.
This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of